Between Professor X and Magneto, we can see a very interesting dichotomy, which is that Professor X is kind of like God, right? He represents spirit, he represents the spiritual, and Magneto is kind of like the devil. If you look at him, he's wearing all red, and he even has red horns on his helmet. And Magneto, his power is control over metal, is control over material, control over matter, right? So it's like Magneto is like the devil. He's like the one that runs and rules the material world. While Professor X, he runs the spiritual. His powers have to do with control of the unseen, the intangible, which is essentially spiritual. He also has a kind of all-knowing power in that he knows what everyone is thinking, right? So it's kind of like this omniscience. Professor X is also spiritual in that he's trying to help people, and a lot of what he does is try to help traumatize people, try to help them face their buried memories. He does this with Wolverine. He does this with Sabretooth. This is something that he does. He seeks out these special traumatized individuals, and he attempts to heal them. And in healing them, they're able to use their powers for good. And he even tries to help Magneto. Of course, Magneto, his head, his third eye, is covered, is quote unquote protected by this helmet. So it's like he's kind of like blocking out the spirit in a sense. Professor X's way, even though Professor X has the power to force people to do whatever he wants, he never uses it in that way. His way is to convince. His way is through ultimate kindness and softness. And the fact that he's unable to use his body in a sense it makes him even more spiritual. All he has is his mind, his emotions, and his soul. He doesn't really have much use of his body. He doesn't have physical, material power. He has spiritual, mental, emotional power. Magneto's way is through force. All he can do is force people to do things. Now, are they really good and evil in that, Magneto only wants to just truly hurt people? No. He thinks he's acting out of good, but really he's acting out of negative emotions and trauma. He's reacting. He's not acting, he's reacting, whereas Professor X is acting from a place of love, positivity, and goodness. So in this, we can see this kind of dichotomy between God and the devil, good and evil. Now that is an oversimplification because, true God, true goodness, it's beyond these opposites into a higher reality, a higher dimension that goes beyond our limited, finite perception and understanding as the, limited humans that we are.